Hello. Thanks for watching this, listening. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, hello. Let me make sure this is working okay. Awesome. Okay. Hello, hello. Thank you for listening. I want to talk with you today about the biggest kept secret about marketing on social media. Okay. Um, and man, once when you hear this, you know, revelation is that revelation is progressive. So what I'm going to tell you right now, it may hit you a little bit, like you may understand it or resonate it with it a little bit, but then as you continue to grow your business online and you continue to learn how to leverage, and when you hear it again, it will mean something different to you later, and then in another 2 years, it will mean something different to you then, and 5 years and 10 years, etc., etc. And so that's one of the things about when you get insight or understanding is that revelation is always progressive, like as far as like your mindset, and not to go Bible on you because I'm also a minister as well, but the Bible talks about how some sow 30-fold, 60-fold, and 100-fold, right? When they sowed a seed, some reaped 30-fold, some reaped 60, and some reaped 100. Now, there's different reasons why they could have reaped a different harvest, but a lot of times it's because the ground, depending on how fertile the ground was, determined what the harvest looked like and the quantity. And the ground in this case is your mind. It's your mindset. It's your behaviors. It's your beliefs. It's how you operate and what you think about business, what you think about marketing, what you think about money, and etc. So, like I said, this is really going to shift you if you allow it and if you really receive it. Hi, my name is Choma. I go by Nurse Choma, and I am a registered nurse that started my first business all the way back in 2015, where essentially the goal is to help nurses to pass their boards exam, their NCLEX examination. And so I built that business completely using social media. And I've been able to generate over 100,000 followers with almost a million monthly views on Pinterest just by using content marketing and organic marketing strategies, as well as also paid marketing strategies, and been able to generate an email list of over 18,000 email subscribers just from social media alone. And so now, in addition to that, I also help businesses, small businesses like yourself, to either teach you, educate you, empower you, or manage your social media so that way you can get those same results as well. So, we're talking about the biggest kept secret about marketing on social media, and I'm gonna try and keep this brief today. I'm not gonna keep it super long because I don't think you need it. It doesn't need to be a long broadcast or a long message for you to really grasp what I'm saying. So I'm gonna say this statement one time first, and actually I'm gonna say it twice, and I'm gonna elaborate. Okay, I'm gonna say the statement two times, and then I'm gonna break it down. The biggest kept secret when it comes to marketing on social media, not just even social media or marketing, but also even in business, is that your next level, right? Your scalability, your growth, your revenue, it is not buried in innovation, but rather in repetition. Let me say it one more time. You doing well online, you, your business, your brand, your company scaling, growing to a whole other level, whether it's through marketing on social media or in other ways, it's not going to be through innovation, but through repetition. Let me explain what I mean by that. So the thing is, like, you know what, and I've been learning this because Like I said, I've been in business for a long time now, and I've learned that it really, when it comes to business and when it comes to marketing, it's well, you're gonna get more results if you keep refining the same thing. If you keep refining, you keep repeating, you keep improving the same thing, right? So essentially, you are going deep versus wide. You're trying to make and tweak something better and better and better. And when it comes to social media and marketing online, you have to be very repetitive. You have to be very repetitive without really being without being spammy. Okay, you have to be repetitive without being repetitive. Essentially, you have to be saying the same thing over and over and over again, but in different ways, in different formats, in different methods that people can consume and want to consume and will get their attention. So let's say, for example, and I'm going to give you more than one example, but let's say, for example, your core thing is to help people. Um, let's say, okay, you help people, you help to coach people. Okay, so let's say you have to coach moms. That's your core thing, right? And so essentially, you're trying to focus on an offer to bring people into your program where you'll work with them for 6 weeks or something, and you'll help moms to start their business or something like that, right? So that's your core thing. So essentially, now your mindset, your belief system is wrapped around, or sorry, not mindset, I should say, your marketing is really all around getting people to that offer. So you have to essentially say the same thing over and over again through your marketing, but in different ways. So, for example, you're posting a picture, you're posting a flyer, you're giving people different facts about starting a business, especially as a mom, right? You're showing people how to get funding for their business because that may be something that they're worried about. You're going live and talking about it. You're going live on Facebook. You're going live on Instagram. You're going live on TikTok. You're posting videos on Twitter and Instagram, etc., right? So essentially, you're being repetitive around the same thing, right? And so the problem for a lot of people is that they either lose patience with the repetition and they start all over again. They either start all over again, they switch up the whole process, they do something totally different because why? They rely so much so on innovation over repetition. But your money, say this out loud with me, my money is locked in repetition, not innovation. Doesn't mean that you can't start another business. Doesn't mean that you can't start another whatever company or whatever. I'm not saying that. But as far as if you're trying to scale one particular business, one particular entity, one particular model, it's going to be in repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? All across social media, all across however you do your business. That's essentially what it is. And so the issue for a lot of people is that when you're learning how to do this on social media, you may not know how to do it in a way without getting tired or burnout, which is why you need different content ideas, right? You need different ideas in order to deliver content. And then also you also um, need to create a system around doing it. Because if you don't create a system around doing that, you will get tired, you will get burnt out, and then you'll be disappointed because it's not making you money immediately, right? So essentially, your focus, your goal is to ask yourself, how can I repeat myself? How can I repeat my brand, my company, and that delivers value over and over and over and over again? Right? Because imagine if, let's say for example, and that's why you have to narrow things down if you're not clear on your business and who you're targeting. But imagine, for example, you have a business and one day you decide like your business is let's see, a medical school, medical training, right? And so you get some visibility, you get some leads, right? Some followers on that one Instagram page, and you are as consistent as you know how to be consistent. But then you're like, man, 6 months later, and I'm still not getting the traction. I'm not seeing anything happening, which, by the way, could be because you're using the wrong strategies, and that's a different story. But I'm not seeing the traction. So about 8 months into it, what do? You decide, you know what? Let's turn this into a hair salon. Let me change this up into a hair salon. Let me switch up my social media page and change it where I'm gonna start talking about hair and like growing your hair, and instead of it being medical. Now what happens? All the people that you created brand awareness with 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and maybe now, 8 months later, they are ready to start your medical program. They are ready to join. In fact, they told somebody about you. They shared your page, they shared your post, but now you're talking about hair. And so now, because you were so caught up in innovation versus repetition, you lost leads, you lost sales, and you quit early in the game when it's all about repetition. It's not about innovation. Do it like I remember there was somebody, I think her name was Danielle something. She's made over almost $10 million in her business from selling one product for like years. The same product. She just literally only one course that has made her that much money. And it's interesting because essentially what she has done now, right? All she's done differently now across her social media, across her advertising, is obviously just increased her ad budget. She's expanded it, right? But what has she done? She's just kept on repeating the same thing over and over again, but bigger, right? More strategic, right? More fun, more advertising, etc. Right? I can't see I can't go on YouTube without seeing an ad of hers. Like she's so repetitive everywhere, because she's focused on repetition more than she is on innovation. And so if you can start to master that in your own business, man, and in marketing, you will see a dramatic difference in your revenue and in your sales and in your business overall, because you're focusing on repetition and not innovation. I'm telling you today, trust me from somebody that knows this. I remember somebody told me this 2 years ago and I didn't believe him. And he was a multi seven figure earner, and I didn't believe him. And then I had to learn it the hard way. I don't want you to have to learn it the hard way. Focus on repetition and not on innovation. And I promise you, you will see more success than you've ever seen before. Once again, this is Nurse Choma. Thank you so much for listening, for following. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the follow button. And you can also follow me on Instagram. And just want to remind you as well that my social media marketing mentorship program is open. We're going to be kicking off next month in January 10th. But however, though, I am offering a special today that for people that register today by the end of midnight, I will give you as a bonus. We'll get on the call, a 45-minute one-on-one session, and I'll audit your social media and I'll give you some direction so you can start to make some, at least some leads, some changes before the first class. Now, if you're interested actually in me managing your social media and helping you with your business, then go ahead and just actually send me a message overall. As far as like if you want more like a different type of service where we're going to work together to just one-on-one period, then send me a message. All right, and then we'll go from there, and I'll see how I can help you. All right, so that's about it. And when you send me the message with the word social media, and then also include your email address, so that way I know what you're referring to. All right, that's about it. Shoot me a message if you need help. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Hit the follow button. Follow me on Instagram if you have follow up questions. I'll be happy to respond to you. All right, talk to you guys soon.